Thank you very much. Any questions? Seeing none, I'd like to invite the applicant to come and present your case, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. My name is Chris Longinetti. I'm with Williams & Dane, representing Jackson Sts Partners, which is a joint venture between Williams & Danes and Related California. Our history with the Japantown site goes back to 2007 when Williams & Dane was selected to develop the former corporation yard. We were attracted at that time by a very vibrant community in Japantown with a unique sense of place and history, and the opportunity to develop a site that we thought would be a cornerstone for the vitality of the neighborhood, the economic vitality. In addition, we saw the opportunity to advance the guiding principles of Japantown, which is using the redevelopment of the site as a catalyst to revitalize the neighborhood and create a great, good place, and then also secure a home, a permanent home in Japantown for Taika. Unfortunately, in 2008, the economic downturn made the development of the site infeasible, and it wasn't until 2012 when we were invited back to work with the city and the community and relook at the site. When we came back, we noticed that despite the economic downturn, Japantown was stronger. There was vibrant retail along Jackson Street. The population had become younger and more diverse, and we think that people saw what we saw in the community, which was a place that was attracts people from a sense of community, and does so to the attraction of cultural and art institutions that are critical to maintaining Japantown's cultural identity. So what do we see today? We look at Japantown as vibrant, with a great retail, dining, and services corridor. We see unique urban characteristics that Williams & Dane in particular likes to develop communities in. We see a multi-generational neighborhood with a tremendous sense of history and tradition, and we see people walking. And that's something that we like to foster in our developments as well. It's a sense of pedestrian and a walking environment. We also saw active development around. Rome has broken ground on their site, and then the first community housing affordable component, which originally was associated with the Williams & Dane project the first time around, is also under construction. So having had 100 meetings with the community, you get opinions, and we've tried to take those opinions into account. But above and beyond, obviously, we've heard concerns about parking, and we'll address how we're doing with parking momentarily. But for the development, our goals were to create an attractive, comfortable walking environment around through which the development activates the pedestrian realm. We talk about the first 30 feet of development, right? The part of the development that the public interacts with. Get the first 30 feet right. We want to create a unique sense of place, building on the history and culture of the site and surroundings, while revitalizing the formal industrial site. We also want something that strengthens the Japantown business neighborhood. Right? We want a strong retail presence on the corner of 6th and Jackson as the anchor for our already vital retail community. And then of course, we want to ensure that development is responsibly parked and that all the users are accommodated on site, both residents and retail. So this is our site plan. It's about 450 units separated into a north and south development. A little under 20,000 square feet of neighborhood retail along Jackson Street and down 6th Street. And then in the center of the site, we have a turnkey agreement for a 3/4 of an acre park and public space. And then through the development agreement that you're considering tonight, we would gift 3/4 of an acre back to the city for their use for the community center of the arts, the development of the community center of the arts. We've talked about active pedestrian zone. You see on 6th and Jackson, we want to have that be the focus of the site, and welcoming pedestrians and welcoming people into the center by the CCA through the park, and ultimately through to 7th Street to Taylor. We're far from done with our design. We're at design concept stages today, and we'll work with the community to refine it. What we'd like to see is something on 6th and Taylor that's really unique and special, and prospectively uses calls towards modern Japanese architecture, as far as to make a statement on that site. I'll quickly go through what we were talking about on parking. The site needs to be fully self-parked. The cost needs to be fully burdened by the development. We're looking at a combination of above-grade and below-grade section parking, which adds increased cost. But we also want to incorporate vehicle reduction initiatives. So car share, transit passes, telecommuting center allowing people to work from home, covered secure bike parking. So at 450 units and approximately 20,000 square feet neighborhood retail, our site provides about 700 spaces. The overall parking can meet base code without reductions, which is about 1.4 parking spaces per unit, and 50 spaces for the retail center. And the residential spaces are available to residents and their visitors, with enough capacity based on actual data on demand for parking in similar projects in the South Bay. So we believe that our site is comfortably overparked. The retail spaces are publicly accessible, and then as the CCA project is further defined and designed, it also will be responsibly parked. I think everyone is familiar with us at this point and our involvement since 2007. Williams and Dame is led by Doug Dame, who's here with us today, as well as Homer Williams. They are known for creating inspired landmark destinations and neighborhoods, in particular the Pearl District in Portland. And these are some of the developments showing that, and in particular creating neighborhoods, interacting with parks. This is the type of development that we like to bring to Japantown. I'll quickly talk about related California.
Your time is up. You get another 5 minutes after the public testimony.
So, well, I just want to quickly say that Related California is not just a development partner, they're an economic partner. And so it's very important that we're bringing both the ability to develop the project as well as the economic feasibility.
Thank you. I see no questions, so I'm going to go through the public comments. Let's see, is Mr. Paul Rokian? Is Paul Rokian here? Or Paul Rockland? No, not here. Okay. Connie Martinez? Welcome.
Connie Martinez, I'm a resident in downtown San Jose, and I lead an organization called Silicon Valley Creates. And I've been working on the Creative Center for the Arts for the last 10 years, beginning when I was the head of the Children's Discovery Museum. And now, in the last 2 years, working closely with Japantown community and partners Sensei Taiko and other arts organizations. We're very, very excited about the potential of this project. We believe it's going to be a quality project. Proud of the process, the community process that's been held, and I'm here to recommend strongly your support.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your testimony. Williams, I'm sorry, Romo Dawson.
Hi, I'm a member of the San Jose Arts Commission, but I want to make clear that I'm speaking tonight as an individual that loves this cultural community and has followed this site for many years. San Jose Taiko is near and dear to my heart. It is iconic to this city. It spreads our reputation internationally and nationally in a way that really no other arts organization does. They're extraordinary, they must be in Japantown, and I want to profusely thank Williams Dane.
Where's Mr. Dane?
I was a council aide at one of the very first community meetings, and I must say they set a high standard for a quality developer, and it's very exciting to see Related active, but again, I thank you,
Mr. Dane, thank you again.
Anyway, thank you very much, and obviously I urge you, this is a no-brainer, to please approve this.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Jacqueline Bates and Roy Irabayashi.
Mr. Chair and Commissioner.
Welcome.
I am Jacqueline Bates, a member of the Japantown Business Association, and I'm standing to speak about the developments that are in the area. With the increase in housing and the developments that are going up in the area, that increases the demand for public parking. And so I understand that there have been studies that have been done on public parking for the Japantown area, but we're not for sure what time of day that the studies have been done. There are residents that are now complaining about the parking situation. The development is only required to supply parking for their residents and for the business owners, for the customers. So my concern is being that where the first community housing going in is now senior housing. We used to have that area as a public parking area because it was city-owned parking. Now we have a temporary public parking that is on the south end of 6 in Jackson, which is not going to be there with this new development proposed going in. So I would like to say, see it added in somehow, that the city of San Jose would look at providing public parking somewhere for the Japantown area. Again, I say as the development, the housing developments are in, that increases the demand for public parking. I'm sure you all are familiar with the Japantown area. There are many profit organizations as well as non-profit organizations, which causes and the residents. So when they have visitors, they have nowhere for their visitors to park.
Your time is up, but I have a question for you. How many public parking were taken away as a result of this proposal?
At this time of this proposal,
yes,
we will not have a temporary parking space, parking lot that is there. You ask how many? First of all,
how many spaces?
I would say it was probably 100, up to 150 parking spaces. It could be a bit much, but I know 100 in the first community project development, and then I'm not for sure the spaces that are there now, but I know it's possibly 65, 70 that are the temporary parking.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't see any other questions for you. Thank you. The next speaker is Mr. Roy Hirabayashi.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome.
Yes, my name is Roy Hirabayashi. I'm a founding member of San Jose Taiko, and I'm also the past president and current board member of the Japantown Community Congress of San Jose. I want to thank the Planning Commission for this opportunity to speak in support of the proposed development project at the Corporation Yard. San Jose Japantown is going to be celebrating 125 years next year, and it's one of 3 remaining Japantowns in the country. It's important, I have lived in the area for about 40 years in Japantown, and over this period of time I've seen a lot of growth and a lot of things happening. It's been very exciting for me to be part of this whole process. So on the selection committee that actually selected the first developer, the Olson Company, in 2003, when the Corporation Yard was first being looked at as a development project. And I've worked with Williams and Dane since then in order to help develop the community in order to bring it along. To create this new idea of the development project, plus the Creative Center for the Arts, which is the cultural center where San Jose Taiko hopes to live. I asked the Planning Commission to fully support the agreement with the Jackson Taylor partners in the city of San Jose for the development that will include housing, retail, and a permanent home for San Jose Taiko and a Creative Center for the Arts. The Japantown community has been very patient, very, very, very patient over this land use. I would have to say almost 30 years that the community has been looking at this property and looking at trying to do different things, and definitely within the last 10 or 12 years or so, actually trying to do different things within this thing. So I'm looking forward to having a project that not only enhances the neighborhood, but also preserves our historic community and provides a center for the creative arts in Japantown and a home for San Jose Taiko. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Waiza Omera.
Close, lots of vowels. Thank you to the Planning Commission for this opportunity to speak. My name is Wisa Uemura, and I'm the executive director and a performer for San Jose Taiko, a 40-year-old performing ensemble and school featuring the taiko or Japanese drum. As one of the oldest and most active arts and culture groups in the city of San Jose, we reach over 74,000 people annually through our performances and classes, taking the name of San Jose to diverse locations across the United States and helping to establish San Jose as a destination. Having started in San Jose, Japantown at the Betsuin Temple, San Jose Taiko has remained committed to supporting Japantown's vibrancy and sustainability. As such, we have had a long-time engagement and investment in the development of its corporation yard. In 2006, during a prior iteration of this development, the city, developer, and Japantown community established 7 priorities, including a Japantown home for San Jose Taiko. Over our 40-year history, we have had to move the location of our rehearsal studio and administrative offices over 15 times. We hope that the city can recognize the value of our efforts as cultural ambassadors and placemakers by providing us with a permanent home within the Creative Center for the Arts, or CCA, on the Japantown courtyard. In including the CCA as part of the development, you ensure the continued vitality of San Jose Taiko and the other CCA core tenants. More so, you will strengthen the city's arts ecosystem through the collective resourcing of facility and back-end services that is at the heart of CCA's vision and purpose. Because we support the CCA and the community amenities as part of this development, we support and hope you support the proposed development of the corporation yard. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Last card is Paul Rookland here. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our public comments. The applicant, you have 5 minutes. Time for 5 minutes closing remarks. And if you could please answer comment on the public parking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
So I guess first I just want to start and say that the DA that you guys are considering today, it allows us to dedicate 3/4 of an acre to CCA and for a permanent for Taiko. I just want to be very clear that from Williams and Daniel related California, we view that as nothing less than an amenity to our site. We're very supportive of the CCA. We're very happy that we can be part in supporting it and helping Japantown achieve one of their critical goals, 2 of their critical goals, including the redevelopment of the site. We've worked very long and hard with the community with regards to parking. We spent a lot of time talking about parking. When we first looked at this site, we had proposed about 600 units. We had proposed very aggressive parking ratios of about one space per unit. In talking with the community, getting feedback and understanding, we've lowered the density of the site from 600 to about 450. We've increased the parking ratios from about 1 per unit to closer to 1.4. I'll speak on behalf of the city, in that the city has also been very proactive in having conversations with the community as to what can the community do in addition to, outside the development of our site to improve parking in the neighborhood. And there are several initiatives that are underway with regards to that. So we've worked long and hard with the community, very happily. It's been our honor to work with Japantown. It's a remarkable neighborhood. So the concerns that people have brought to us do not go unheeded.
Okay. Thank you very much. There is a question for you. Commissioner O'Halloran.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, I want to make a comment in response to something that you said earlier. I appreciate that you're considering modern Japanese architecture as an inspiration for this. In the past it would be so easy to do some kind of faux Japanese kind of thing, but I know that you're the developers in Portland in the Pearl District. I've walked that neighborhood many times. I recognize some of your projects here that you've shown, and so if we come out with something that's like but not a copy of the Pearl District and something that has that modern contemporary Japanese feel, I think that would be outstanding. So just feedback for you.
Thank you. Commissioner Fan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I just want to clarify with the parking issues that we left Japantown when kids was here earlier before, the main usage, they came from Japantown. So we spent quite a bit of time down there, and parking is a bit of a problem, especially when you have an event. So I want to understand how, when you said under and above ground parking plan at this point, but there's no concrete plan, or am I correct to say that?
No, so the development site's not finalized because we still need some community comment and design. But with regards to parking, at the 450 units that we have today, we'll have below ground parking and at grade parking. And the combination of the two would be about 700 spaces.
And it would be for both the resident and visitors, or?
And it would be for residents and visitors for the residential portion, and 50 spaces that would be dedicated towards retail. And that's all on site. That's excluding any of the spaces that are currently around the site. So that's just everything that's on the site.
Okay. Well, so one comment is I actually get a pleasure of hosting Mr. Minella. Of a month ago. He would be happy to hear that you guys are doing something down there. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bitbeder.
Thank you so much. I will be very brief. I also want to echo on what Commissioner O'Halloran stated about the architecture. I would really like to see some concept of Japanese modern architecture reflected here. I understand after World War II, they did not want to have identity of Japanese architecture there because of all the discrimination that was going on in the community. But at this point, I think we should be very proud of it. So I would like to see more incorporation of the Japanese architecture. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bitbeder. I actually echo the same comments. I think that's absolutely, we got to celebrate the diversity of heritages in San Jose, and I think you're actually doing that. And I'd like to commend you, unlike, in my opinion, our last applicant, you understood that you got to work with residents, you know, they're the ones that are going to give you the strength. Commissioner, no comment, okay. Is there a motion?
We have to have that one.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Thank you, my wife is here, so I'm distracted. Okay, so we got to go to, let's close public hearing. Yes? Thank you. Motion? Second? All those in favor? Aye. Motion to, so the public hearing is closed. Staff, I'm sorry, you can comment.
Thank you. So upon the consolidation of the city's main corporation yard over to Central Service Yard on Central Road, and then the subsequent demolition of the corporation yard in Japantown in 2008, the vacant site was then, or underutilized site was used as interim parking. And so at this time I wanted to introduce you to Nancy Klein with the Office of Economic Development and Real Estate, who could shed some light on the history of the site as well as our efforts in coordinating with the Japantown community.
Sylvia, thank you very much. Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, we want you to know that we take the concerns about parking very much to heart. In analysis, OED, Office of Economic Development, also added a study of parking. We found that the 61 parking space temporary lot on the courtyard site itself had a peak time utilization, and that's peak time, not events, but peak time of 14 spaces. So it's heavily unused, unfortunately. And we've also found that there are many spaces. There are actually 1,200 spaces of free on-site, on-street parking in the neighborhood, and the highest utilization at peak time is 70%. So part of this is very much working with the community, of which we've had brainstorming community meetings about how we further educate and access. So to that end, we've taken a couple of additional steps. In the memo going forward that's posted for council on the 16th, staff is recommending that out of the purchase price, we allocate $250,000 that will go to the Japantown community for implementation of ideas of how to better access parking, of which there are many ideas, from additional signage, development of apps to make clear where parking is available, etc. So it's a 2-year parking program that we believe is an unprecedented, we haven't done it yet, but not only will help in Japantown, but we feel strongly that as other urban villages come online, how we work with the community, because the community knows best. to partner and take advantage, help property owners who are private owners allocate, use their private spaces, their private lots for public parking at certain times. There's a number of solutions that we think can be progressive, and that's what that $250,000 will be allocated to if council approves. Secondly, we believe it's very important that CCA have their own parking. So we've allocated or made a recommendation to council for an additional $750,000 to be held in reserve, dedicated to the Creative Center of the Arts parking as the project goes forward. So again, we take the issue of parking very seriously, and we'll continue to work closely with the Japantown community.
Wonderful, thank you very much. So, as the staff follow, is there any questions for staff? Commissioner Klein?
No, actually, it's a late hour. I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
I'd make a motion to move staff recommendation.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Did you want to speak to your motion?
Just quickly, very quickly. I think it's a great project. This is just a development agreement we're looking at. It's very, very rough, but the components and the compromises you can already see being made here. I like the idea of being less dense. We've got some great urban villages already. One of our challenges is as we grow them, we don't wreck any of them. The Alameda, Local Inn, Japantown, these are great urban villages already, and we just don't want to see anything happen that can mess them up. This has a great development team. It looks like the community is very supportive of it. I probably have one condition on it, that Sensei Taiko cannot be renamed Silicon Valley Taiko. But that's I'm just joking. But this is a fantastic agreement. I grew up in a lot of communities in San Jose, and I enjoyed Japantown as one of the best of the best, and I always enjoy it every summer. That's one of the things that has overflow parking. It's one of the things that happens when you're successful. I'm not sure this will fix it, but it probably won't, but it will add to the environment. The designs will come later, I'm sure. We won't see, and I'm sure some designs will be good at that too, so I'm looking forward to seeing those. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Second of the motion, Commissioner Pitero, did you have any comments?
Thank you again. Extremely briefly, I just want to thank the applicant, the architect. I'm very impressed with the designs I've seen so far. In your presentation, also would like to commend the Office of Economic Development for discussing solutions, even the fact that the project is not shovel ready, but there's already trying to come up with solutions for the community and solve issues. So thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. No other questions? Let's take a vote. Okay, that motion passes unanimously. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Okay, so this brings us to the end of the public hearing.